This is the Hoji binding that Dynafit designed as a world first. It's the only touring binding with no frame that goes up to a 16 din. We saw a need in the market for a binding that could be used for hardcore freeriding, but also toured, as well as our Radical FT and Radical ST and the rest of the family. So with the Beast, what you get is a more alpine-like elasticity and return to center with all the great benefits of the 4 points of metal-to-metal contact, and combining that with a higher din, you get our heaviest binding, but you get a binding that can't be out-skied. So, of course, you give it to a guy like Hoji, you know, he's undaunted, and he can do any kind of skiing he wants to do in this. It's got 2 climbing positions. It's got almost flat and lifted. The rear heel piece actually slides backwards, so it gives you great elasticity. You can huck giant cliffs and throw backflips with this thing in complete confidence. It doesn't adjust like our other bindings with forward pressure. It has a little different adjusting program to be used. I only made 2,500 pairs of these this year, and what you'll see with this is that the whole chassis slides backwards once it's engaged, and the toe piece actually rotates. You can see this plate will actually swing and pivot. That's the little toe mechanism that when you step down, the jaws will close. So in our Radical series, the jaws close this way, and in the Beast, the jaws close this way. So it's just a really bomb-proof. You can't just get any Dynafit compatible or tech compatible boot and use the Beast. You need to add this heel piece to the boot. So there's an ISO, I think it's a 9,000 number, that is the standard for all alpine touring boot heels. That has to do with the radius, and this piece fits the radius exactly as it should. So you take out the stock insert, this one comes out, and this one goes in its place, and it comes with the extra hardware. So you go from 1 screw to 3. You reuse that screw, and then in the package there's a screw for each side. And what this does, once it's mounted on the boot, is it pushes the rear chassis backwards. See those little grooves? They're set to the same width as these grooves, and it pushes the heel piece back, and then it locks in. Right. So one of the things that's new and different is this new elliptical shaped heel piece, or heel pin rather. We've altered the shape to make this teardrop shape, where you get more pressure transmitted to the binding, and then the binding transmits that pressure to the edge of the ski, which is of course where all your turning comes from. And there is an AFD plate on the brake. The brake is super aggressive. Don't poke a hole in your down jacket with those. And in terms of adjusting, you have your lateral release adjustment value and your vertical release adjustment value. And then you have this screw on the bottom of the binding that adjusts for length.